வெத்தனமும் அரிசினந்த ஜாதிதனும் தக்கத்தினும் திரைமுதலும் தரிசவரும் திரதமுகே அத்திரவர் ஆசரிவோ மறுக்குவதும் இந்த முகத்தையும் புகழ்வழக்க இன்பமும் தமிழகே தமிழகே இளமை சிவமிழந்து மறந்து பாட்டு
It's time to unfurl our national flag by correspondence.
School, standard days. School, attention. I request you to host the national flag, sir. Flag salute.
Flag song. मातृभूमिका धन to address the gathering.
Very good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 74th Republic Day of our great India. So when we say 74th Republic Day, what does it mean? We are celebrating the 73rd anniversary of birthday of our Constitution, right? But how long back did we get our independence? 2 years before that. So in 1947, we got our independence. And when did we get, when did we have our Republic Day? 1950, right? So what happened in those 3 years? Did anybody think about that? Independence Day 47 was it? Then 50 Republic Day means. So then we had our constitution in place only roughly 3 years or 2.5 years after we got independence. So that means even after independence, even after we said India is free and we're independent, we were still following British constitution. So it was not our country, our rules. Our country, their rules. Right? So we were running our country. Government is run by our Indians, but they were running British rules. So, truly speaking, in 1950, on the first Republic Day is when we actually became my country, my rules. Right? Do all of us understand that? So, till then it was somebody else's rules. So in 1950, they were able to say, now, okay, my country has my own rules. But another question to ask, even though we got our own rules, were we running our country by our own rules or not? Reality, in country, rules I will run my country my way. Did that happen? Is another question we also have to ask. If you look in the last 73 years, even though we had our constitution in place, in many occasions, rest of the world, I can't say rest of the world, at least part of the world, the Western world still did not see India as an independent country or a sovereign country with its own rules. They will allow them to run whatever they want. That mentality was not there. They are still, especially Britain and some of the other European countries, they were still looking at India as our country. So they will have to do whatever we say. So in a lot of occasions, India was like partially a victim of these so-called developed countries, so-called Western countries. Though we were saying we are republic, though we are saying we are our own rules, we were still following many of the directions given by those countries. We are doing that. Now it's bad enough that those countries are looking at us that we are an inferior country or we have to follow what they are saying. Unfortunately, I think people in this country also have that mindset. British people had left, but Indians continued this mindset that we are less people, we are inferior people, British people are better or Western people are better, now we are lower people. So Indian mindset did not change. The 200 years mindset away, we got used to that mindset that we are slaves to these Western countries. So that mindset is actually continued. The people in the government also continued the same mindset. So which means the Western countries could still control our country to a large extent. அவங்க என்ன பண்ண சொல்றாங்களோ அதுதான் பண்ணிட்டு. What Indian people even till today I will say have forgotten is our actual history. Well before the British came to our country was probably the number one country in so many ways in the world. We were the richest country by far. No other country in the world had the amount of wealth that we had. The amount of intellectual capacity of our country, no other country had. The technology that we had in this country, no other country had. We had our spiritual strength, we had cultural strength, the arts and all that we had, no other country had. So many religions were born in this country, much more than any other country. So in every way, we were the ultimate leader of this world. Till we allowed this British to put their foot here. நம்ம அந்த ஹிஸ்டரியை மறந்துட்டோம். நம்ம அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஆளுங்க அதை மறந்துட்டு just that 200 years, for thousands of years, we were the kings of the world. Just for 200 years, somebody came here, made us forget our history, and made us feel that we are less than them. நம்ம விட்டு போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் கூட we are still thinking we are the same less people, which is why we are still looking at them or that they are bigger, they are better. I will say they didn't take away our pride, we gifted our pride to them. So what actually happened is in the 200 years, Indians lost our sense of pride for the country. Tamil Nadu, India kulla we say Tamilanda, அந்த மாதிரி நான் இந்தியன்டான்னு சொல்றதுக்கு that spirit has been lost in 200 years. British have left, but we have not taken back that pride. And the pride avanga kudam. That's the way we have been living all these last 73 years. And I will say at least now some sense of the pride is, I think, coming back. We are now able to say we are India. We will do what we think is right for us. What you think about us doesn't matter. Like a lot of things are happening now in the last 1-2 years, especially when after this Russian-Ukraine war has started. Lot of international politics going on. Each country putting pressure on another country. So lot of pressure on India not to deal with Russia. அவங்களுக்கு அந்த ஆயில் வாங்காதீங்க, அவங்களுக்கு எனர்ஜி வாங்காதீங்க, don't buy weapons from them. Russia is bad people, but India is saying for us we will do what is good for us. எங்களுக்கு அவங்க ஆயில் சீப்பா கொடுத்தா அதான் வாங்கணும். We will do what is good for our people. If you don't think we are doing right, it is your problem, not our problem. This kind of India is not seen for the last 73 years. So in my world, it looks like India is becoming a republic. Because now we are able to say, this is my country, my rules, I will live by my rules. Just because America doesn't like what we are doing, Britain doesn't like what we are doing, we are not going to change. We are an independent country, we will go by our own rules. And I think in the last few years at least, rest of the world has started seeing it's not just what we are doing with ourselves. India has become a kind of leader for the world. In rest of the world has started, all the leaders of the world have started looking to, not leaders of the world, people of the world have started looking at India as a leader. We are able to leader, not the way US becomes leader. US becomes leader, they become militarily powerful. If you do something against them, on the 30 to down. Now India doesn't do that. We have not hurt any country in the world by ourselves. India has never invaded any part of the world, but still we are considered we are becoming powerful by being a friend of the world. Any country is in trouble, நம்ம தான் first help பண்றோம். பிரச்சனையா என்ன பிரச்சனை சொல்லி நான் சொல்றேன். All of us know pandemic came in 2 years back. India was the first country, or probably I would say the only country in the world looking at how to help other countries. The other countries like maybe US and all was involved in helping countries for all for money. They are looking at where to one of the prachaniya business time for me. Wherever there is a problem, they are trying to see how to make money from the other person's trouble. India was sending medicines free, vaccines free. When some country is in trouble, we send food free. US has not done even once, but still they are considered powerful only because they have their fighter planes and they have their nuclear weapons and all that. We also have that, so to some extent, but number power other than our power is in being a friend of the world. And that I think will slowly overtake people's mindset. And my vision or dream for the world, for the country is, even though any other country can be economically the best, militarily the best, if India can be seen as the most socially powerful country, Indians are the best people in the world, because what the government is doing is what people are doing. So, and the more view, if the world can get, I think that is the ultimate success for this country. But for that we have to be successful in other ways also. Technologically also we have to be successful. We are successful to a large extent. In India, I will say whatever success in US, America, post 50% of the intellectual people there are from this country. Correct? All of us now, CEO of Google, CEO of Microsoft, they are all Indians. They are all South Indians also. Doesn't matter, they are all Indians. That is again another concern. அந்த countries எல்லாம் போய் அந்த country எவ்வளவு டெவலப் பண்றது நம்ம ஆளுங்கன்னா, why are they not here? If all those people were here, then we would have been so much ahead, right? So right now we are going up, we are getting better. But I personally think for two reasons we will never become number one in terms of development. Socially, friend alla number one aayidhu. Nammala mari yarum friend irukka maattom. But as a developed country, India is number one. அப்படிங்கிற potential நமக்கு இருக்கு. நம்ம என்னைக்கா long back once upon a time we were the most developed country. But today I can say the way we are going, we will never be the most developed country in the world. Yet, two simple reasons. One I already told you. Because development is enna vanum? The intelligent people of the country, skilled people of the country, they only develop the country. Inga irukra best brains, they all leave the country and go to other countries. And the country is developed. 99% of people who study in IIT are all in the US. The best doctors in the country also go to some other country which is useful for that country. அங்க பெரியாளா நம்ம வந்து இந்தியன் அப்படின்ட்டு we are feeling proud. We should be ashamed. இங்க பிறந்தவன், இங்க படிச்சவன், அங்க போய் பெரியாளாயி அந்த பெரிய கம்பெனி பண்றதுனா நம்மளுக்கு what is the pride in that? We should be ashamed that we didn't allow that person to do that here. So there is something that we are not doing correct here, that people who are born here, the best brains here, they are not staying here and developing our country. So that is something for, we can't do anything. That is something for the governments to deal with. But நம்ம தான் அந்த government எல்லாம் choose பண்றது. So all of us have the responsibility to, I don't know what is it that we can do, how we are going to do, but I can clearly say the day when government runs not for political reasons, but government runs for development reasons. நாட்டில் என்ன பண்ணா country develop ஆகும் அந்த focus-ஓட எந்த government work பண்ணாலும் doesn't matter which party. Whichever government works with the focus on development, definitely people will not leave the country. They will be here. ஏன் விட்டு போறாங்க? They want to do a lot of work, but India development opportunity. So they are going. India political games are what India is interested in. But they are not focusing on how to create opportunities for all these people, how to develop this country. So on the focus, government political games India development then we will have the best brains here. We already have the evidence, the proof of that is already seen. The top people 50% are Indians. So now we have the skill clear. And the skill then we are going to be number one development. What is the second reason why I am saying that is not reason? India development environment development focus நம்மளுக்கு இல்ல அதனால கவர்மெண்ட் நம்மளுக்கும் இப்ப எனக்கு ஃப்ரீ ரைஸ் கொடுக்குறியா அதான் பார்க்கணும் தவிர என் நாட்டில் என்ன டெவலப் ஆகுதுங்கிற ஃபோக்கஸ் நம்மளுக்கு. தட் இஸ் வை கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் ஹாப்பி. உனக்கு என்ன ஃப்ரீயா வரணும் வச்சுக்கோ, தேர் ஹாப்பி. நெக்ஸ்ட் 5 years ரூல் பண்ணலாமா, அடுத்த டைம் ஒர்க் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ we are willing to be selfish. எனக்கு கிடைச்சதுன்னா கண்ட்ரி எப்படினாலும் பரவாயில்ல. That is the mindset Indians are having. That is why they want development. Second point is education. In the country, development simply depends on education. Now, the question is education. A lot of education is there. People are all getting educated. But the point is, the kind of education that we are having today is useless for development. இப்போ இருக்கிற எஜுகேஷன்ல நீங்க என்ன ரேங்க் வாங்கிக்கோங்க, கோல்ட் மெடல் வாங்கிக்கோங்க, அதனால எந்த டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கும் யூஸ் இல்லை. Only when education becomes tuned for development என்ன மாதிரி education வேணுமோ, when education becomes aligned with that, then only that can be called meaningful education. Only when India has that kind of education, we are going to be developed. Many other countries have already shifted their education towards development. India is not doing it, which means our governments are sleeping. So, what is the kind of education that we have today? Bukla the answer, Kathikite, Vedi Kuttana, that is being called education. Is that kind of education any use? Bukla answer already இருக்குல்ல. அந்த ஆன்சர் திருப்பி உங்களுக்கு சொல்றது what is the skill required. That kind of education is not going to be useful anywhere. It's not any useful today itself, but for the future definitely not. In fact, I've been saying for the last 10 years that within the next 20-30 years, none of the education courses we have in this country will be even one paisa use today. We'll have to forget all that we learned today to deal with the future. People also believe that it is something that is going to happen 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. But I don't know how many of you have heard of this word called chat GPT. Chat GPT. Anybody? It's a new technology. So now or not, like how people thought life is going to change 20 years later, 30 years later. We are all mistaken. 20 years, 30 years illa. 3 months back, November 2022, there's a company called OpenAI in the US. They have released a new technology. It's available open public. All of you can Google and find ChatGPT. You can install it in any computer. Right now it is free of cost. You know what? You want to know what that technology can do? It can do whatever you can do. If you want to start a business and you want to have a strategy, and in the business plan, it will give you exactly what plan you have to do. You want to write an essay on any topic in the world. In the topic, like in the points, in the points, in the I want so many pages. I want an essay, it will give you. Forget essay. You are doing PhD today, you want a 100-page thesis, researching all the available உலகத்துல இருக்க அத்தனை நாலேஜும் எடுத்து ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி எனக்கு ஒரு தீசிஸ் வேணும்னா 3 மினிட்ஸ்ல கொடுக்கும். நீங்க 3 வருஷம் பண்ற தீசிஸ் வந்து it will give you in 3 minutes. It will do better job than all of us. How much research we can do in 3 years? 10 book படிப்போமா? 50 book படிப்போமா? அந்த 1000 book படிச்சிட்டு 3 minutesல it will tell you this is the thesis for you. என்ன ஆகும்? All the education that we have, whatever PhD programs that we have, MBA programs that we have, that program they have already tested. MBA test alone they have given. It is passing all the exams. So if you MBA exam pass படிக்கிறதே பாஸ் பண்றதெல்லாம் meaningless. நம்ம பண்றதை விட அந்த சிஸ்டம் ஈஸியா பண்ணும். And that system right now baby stage இருக்கு. இப்போதான் பிறந்தது. Just now released. They are releasing it for testing. நம்மெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணி ஃபீட்பேக் கொடுத்தா அதுல இருந்து டெவலப் பண்ணும். It is called beta stage. It is only in beta stage. இன்னும் 2 வருஷத்துல it will get fully developed. அந்த குழந்தை beta stage டே இவ்வளவு பண்ணுதுன்னா இன்னும் 2 வருஷம் போனா what will it do? Nothing for us to do. நம்ம very no இங்கேருந்து பார்த்து பிடிக்கிறதாக்கெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு தேவைப்படாது. So what is the only thing that software cannot do? It cannot think. It can get all information. In the internet, whatever information is there, with that information, collect பண்ணி it can give you. But it cannot create anything new. There are even unimaginable things it can do. Suppose you tell that software, Kannadasan, some known poet, Kannadasan மாதிரி எனக்கு இந்த டாபிக்ல ஒரு பாட்டு வந்து சொன்னா it will give you. இன்னைக்கு தமிழ் இல்ல, but I am saying it has been done in English already. You give any poet's name, அந்த காலத்து English poet, and say I want a poetry which sounds like that poet. இந்த poet வந்து இந்த poetry எதுனா எப்படி இருக்கும்? So give it some topic, forest அப்படின டாபிக் கொடுத்து இந்த poet forest பத்தி ஒரு poetry எதுனா எப்படி இருக்குமோ அந்த மாதிரி poetry வரணும்னா it will be a poetry like that. கதை எழுது ஒரு well known story writer, அந்த story writer அந்த ஸ்டைல்லையே எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி செட்டிங்ல ஒரு ஸ்டோரி கேட்டா it will give you a story. It will not be a very totally new story because it can't create. என்ன பண்ணும்னா உலகத்துல அத்தனை ஸ்டோரி எடுத்துட்டு அதுல இருந்து இங்க விட்டு அங்க விட்டெல்லாம் எடுத்து நம்ம நிறைய பேஜ் எப்படி தான் பண்ணுவோம், ரைட்? இட் கேன் டேக் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஃப்ரம் hundreds of stories, make it into a new story and give you a new story. படிச்சு பார்த்தா அந்த ரைட்டர் அது மாதிரி it will be in the same style and that person's vocabulary. Can you see what that means? Writers have no more work. Even if you are a writer, somebody gives me a job to do one more work. நான் உட்கார்ந்து டைம் வேஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்கு சார்ஜ் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டு எனக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ஒரு எழுதி கொடுத்தா எழுதி கொடுத்தோம், ரைட்? அப்படின்னா அவங்க எங்கிட்டே வரணும். They can do it themselves, which means you don't have to go to a lawyer to say இந்த மாதிரி கேஸ் எவ்வளோ ஆயிருக்கு, இந்த கேஸ் ஜெயிக்குமா, என்ன வீக்னஸ், இதெல்லாம் all this information is there on the internet. Any information on the internet, ChatGPT can give you in whatever form you want. Why Marka? The world is very scared right now. Allah mentioned it. You know that this means within 2 years, உலகத்துல நிறைய வேலை கிடையாது. There is lot of work in this world, professional work, high paid professional work எல்லாம் will become gone. டாக்டர்கிட்ட போயிட்டு ஒப்பீனியன் கேட்கிற வேலைலாம் கிடையாது. This can do lot of 80% of doctors work this will do. 80% of lawyers work this technology can do. So then what is the relevance of human beings? We will have to develop only. There are only 2 things we cannot do, or 2 things I will say human beings strength will continue. One is thinking, critical think. Okay, the point is in the software என்ன பண்ணுவோம், technology இருக்கிற இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி it will give you. But it does not know which information is correct. இது உண்மையா பொய்யா தப்பா கரெக்டா அந்த ஜட்மெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் தெரியாது. யாராவது பொய்யா ஏதாவது போட்டிருந்தா அதையும் உங்கள்கிட்ட கொடுத்துரும். It doesn't have, that is called critical thinking. Critical thinking skills that technology doesn't have. Even mathematical thinking skills will not be there. Scientific thinking skills irukadu. So abdina what does it mean? For us our value is only that. So wherever critical thinking is required, wherever mathematical thinking, scientific thinking is required, there we are kings. So which means our education should develop that. Not book la answer koduma mark vaanuma. Are you getting that? So I don't blame you people for doing that, but our governments have to wake up. I think they have started waking up. 2 years back, there's a new education policy which has come, which is called NEP 2020. Point is, they have to develop, implement பண்ணுவாங்க. Whenever that gets implemented, there's a lot of focus on critical thinking, lot of focus on communication. ஒரு மனுஷன் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி பேசணும்னா நம்ம தான் பண்ணணும். அது ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர் மிஷின் cannot communicate like that. கரெக்டா இன்டெலெக்சுவலா பேசும், பட் human connection will not be. So that is the strength that all of you have to develop, all of us have to develop. எங்க காலம் முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. You are going to the future. So in the future, if you want to be relevant, if you want to consider yourself educated, உங்க எஜுகேஷன் வந்து கிரிட்டிக்கல் திங்கிங்ல இருக்கணும், மேத்தமேட்டிக்கல் திங்கிங்ல இருக்கணும், சயின்டிபிக் திங்கிங்ல இருக்கணும். நாட் எனக்கு இந்த ஆன்சர் தெரியும் அந்த ஆன்சர் தெரியும், அந்த ஆன்சர் எல்லாம் வாங்கி 100 மார்க் வாங்கி மெடல் வாங்கினா தூக்கி கபோர்ட்ல வச்சுக்கலாம். That is not going to be useful anywhere. Even today 97% of engineers passing out in this country don't have engineer work. Engineer work இல்ல, பாதி பேர் work எல்லாம் பாஸ் பண்ணவங்க. which means what? அந்த engineering bookல இருக்கிற ஆன்சர் எல்லாம் ஆன்சர் எழுதினாங்க. They know all the answers in the book, but they don't know how to be engineer. They don't know how to do engineering thinking. So engineering thinking தெரிஞ்சவங்க தான் engineer. Engineering answer தெரிஞ்சவங்க engineer இல்ல. Just because you know what is in the engineering textbook, you don't become engineer. 97% of Indian engineers are in that category. They only know answers. They don't know how to be engineer. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to communicate. நாளை போய் கஸ்டமர்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு வா, இந்த சேல் வாங்கிட்டு வந்தா தெரியல. எக்ஸாம் 1 மார்க் வாங்கிருக்கோம், பட் in the life that is all not useful. So that is the kind of education that this country will need. All of you are going to need. I have spoken too long. So I will wind up here, reminding us of what we need for our own well-being. You have to get educated what is required, and other than that, country also will develop. So I also wanted to make a point on that parents are also a problem here. One day government is a problem, that government is not changing their system to what is required. The other big challenge for the education is unfortunately the parents of our children. Now our children in India, entire India country சொல்ற, unfortunately majority of the parents, Indian parents, are still stuck in the market, bookla their answer, and unfortunately none of that is going to be useful. So my request to the entire parent community of this country, avanga reach பண்ண முடியாது, at least I can reach here. நம்மளுக்கு பார்க்கணும்னா அது வந்து நம்மளோட தேவை, அது குழந்தைங்களுக்கு தேவையில்லை. So we have to shift from நம்மளுக்கு எனக்கு என்ன தேவைங்கிறது பார்க்கணுமா, இல்ல எனக்கு பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு என்ன வேணும்னு பார்க்கணுமா, இல்ல ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு நம்ம குழந்தைங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு பார்க்கணுமா, அவங்களுக்கு என்ன தேவைன்னு பார்க்கணுமா? It's a major decision that we have to take. If all parents decide that அவங்களுக்கு என்ன தேவைங்கிறது விட ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு என்ன தேவை, அவங்களுக்கு தேவையில்லை, அவங்களுக்கு வேணும். People, parents want to say, என் பையன் ஒரு வாங்கினான்னு சொல்லி மற்றவங்களாம் போய் பேசுறதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம். தவிர if you are actually parent is concerned for the child, you will not worry about the child's marks. You will worry about thinking ability. When you say Rana, கேள்வி கேட்கறானா எந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு child கேள்வி கேட்கறானா thinking பண்ணா. A child asking more questions is more educated than a child giving more answer. பதில் எல்லா பதிலும் available. கேள்வி கேட்கலாம் question. ஒரு child கேள்விக்கு எந்த அளவுக்கு கேள்வி கேட்குதோ, that child is what is more educated, that child will develop more, that child will be more successful. So all of you must start asking questions, forget about your answers. All answers கையில இருக்கலாம். Okay, so will you do all that? And I hope every school also starts doing this. Parents support Ilko Indio. We have to keep trying to do this. I can say for the last few years we have been trying to do whatever we can do. I can say for sure 100% our kindergarten section in our school has been completely working in that direction. Tomorrow Sorana, this one overlap Sorana Trila. But I can say in the city, the kindergarten in the school probably is one of the best kindergarten programs, most useful kindergarten programs in the entire city that we have today. Simply because right from that age, we only focus on questioning, குழந்தைகிட்ட கேள்வி கேட்க வச்சு அதுக்கு கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ண சான்ஸ் கொடுத்து the development starts right from there. I would say to some extent primary 1 to 5 we have started some work now. It might take another few years to build that also. So definitely in the next 2 to 3 years I can say kindergarten to 5th standard education in this school will be tuned for development. In the school of child at least foundation அதுக்கு மேல நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண கஷ்டம். ஏன்னா சிலபஸ் எக்ஸாம் எல்லாம் வந்துச்சுன்னா you have to shift. But at least till 5th நம்ம அந்த டென்ஷன் கிடையாது. So we can freely educate our children to what is required for the world, what is required for the future. நான் இதெல்லாம் என்னைக்கோ தேவைப்படும் நினைச்சு தான் ஆரம்பிச்சோம். But seeing the current news for the last 3 months, என்னைக்கோ இல்லை இவங்கெல்லாம் படிப்பு முடிச்சுட்டு வேலைக்கு போகும்போதே these skills are going to be required very immediately. So I can only hope that every school in this country shift at least their kindergarten to 5th standard education to what is required, and so all of us together do it. We can support this country to be the really best country in the world. Best wishes to all of us. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Happy Republic Day.
Thank you, sir. It's time to acknowledge the best prefect of the year. I request our correspondent sir to honor the best prefect. Renuka of 9th. Upati of 9th. Thank you, sir. Now I call 3 to 5th standard students for dance performance. Good morning to all. The word unity can be defined as the state of being united or joined. Diversity means difference. Hence, unity in diversity means the state of being united despite the difference. India is a perfect example of unity in diversity. Our countrymen are from diverse backgrounds such as different religions, states, culture, language, etc. Still, we call ourselves Indians. We have common identity.
My name is Madhavi, I'm from Alami. My name is Madhavi, I'm from Alami. I speak Malayalam, but I'm just like you. My name is Abdul, I'm from Srinagar. I speak Kashmiri, but I'm just like you. My name is Shubhrata. My name is Shubhrata. I'm from Kolkata. I speak Bengali, but I'm just like you. My name is Vasundhara. I'm from Vadodara. I'm from Vadodara. My name is Vasundhara. I'm from Vadodara. I speak Gujarati, but I'm just like you. My name is Arundhati. My name is Arundhati. I'm from Guwahati. My name is Arundhati. I'm from Guwahati. I speak Assamese, but I'm just like you. German, I'm from Belgium. My name is Benjamin. I'm from Belgium. I speak Romanian, but I'm just like you. My name is Rani May. My name is Rani May. I'm from Chennai. My name is Rani May. I'm from Chennai. I speak Tamil, but I'm just like you.
by linkage of 8. Good morning, one and all present here. Today we are gathered here to celebrate 74th anniversary of the country's constitution with the effort to honor the sacrifice of our freedom fighters. The constitution is our which adopted January 26, 1950. It defines the rights, duties of a citizen and it established the framework of our democracy. The Constitution also defines that the freedom, justice, and rights for all. As we celebrate this day, it is important for us to remember the struggles and who fought for our freedoms. They struggled for freedom, so the Constitution they struggled lot. So the Constitution of our is formed in 1950. So the Constitution, its rights, duties, and all is lived. Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and B.M. Ambedkar, and many others worked tirelessly and to draft for all. It is important for us to remember the sacrifice of our freedom. The Mahatma Gandhi also fought for us. They had many struggles, but they never gave up. It is their resilience, but they never gave up. As we celebrate this day, it is important for us to remember the importance of preventing and preserving the Constitution. It will help to build the society with united and strong. We must promote the united and strong nation. We must work towards to build the strong nations, and we must work towards the creating a society with that influence and that will get equal opportunity to succeed, and they will reach full potential. And we must try to promote the peace, harmony, and friend all among the communities, and to build the united and strong nation. Let us pledge to take to our part to build a better India. Let us make the society without free from discrimination and inequality. So please bear the free from the opportunities to succeed and reach their full potential, and where they were each potential. They will get each potential after they we must promote strife and promote the peace, harmony, friendship, and among all communities, and to build the united and strong nation. Thank you, Jai Hind. Thank you, Niveshwar, for your inspiring speech. Patriotic song by Suhasi and Sandhya D of 12th.
मेरा
ही दुनिया की शान है, भारत माँ की शरणों में जीवन कुर्बान है, भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है। जहाँ नाल नाल पर सोने की चिड़िया करती है बसेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा। ए वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ में याद रहे तू। ए वतन मेरे वतन, ए वतन मेरे वतन, तेरी मिट्टी में मिल जावा, फूल बन के मैं खिल जावा, इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू। तेरी नदियों में बह जावा, तेरी खेतों में लहरावा, इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू। देश मेरे मेरी जान है तू, देश मेरे मेरी जान है तू। थैंक यू। जय हिंद।
Thank you, girls. Now, one mind by our 6 to 8 class students.
கணிதம் ஒன்ற தேர்வாகும் உயிர்களே
Thank you boys for your wonderful performance. Tamil Kavidi by Harini of Nine.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். பாரத தேவியே, உனக்கு சுதந்திரம் கிடைத்த பொழுது மக்களாக இருந்த நாங்கள் இன்று விடுமுறை நாளில் மாக்களாக மாறிவிட்டோம். உன்னை அழித்து விட்டோம். சுதந்திரம் என்பது நமக்கு ஒன்று ஆனது. அதில் நாம் எதற்காக செய்கின்றோம் என்றது தெரியவில்லை. ஆனால்
Patriotic dance by 6 to 8 students. Tamil Kavidi by Harini of Nine.
பாரத
குழந்தையே, உனக்கு சுதந்திரம் கிடைத்த பொழுது மக்களாக இருந்த நாங்கள் இன்று விடுதலை நாட்களில் தான் மக்களாக மாறிவிட்டோம். உன்னை ஆளுக்கு பாதியாக அபகரிக்க திட்டமிட்டோம். புன்னகை மாறி பொன்னகை இழந்து அப்பாவி பெண்ணாக வாழும் என் அன்பு அன்னையே, அந்நியரை விரட்டி விரட்டி நாங்கள் ஆடுகளாய் மாறிவிட்டோம். பசுத்தோல் புலிகளுக்கு நாள்தோறும் பந்தியில் விருந்து வைத்தோம். உன் பழமையை மாய்த்து விட்டோம். இங்கு மீண்டும் காந்தி வேண்டும் என கடவுளிடம் கட்டுப்பாடு போல ஒரு கட்சியையே தொடங்கிவிட்டோம். வீதிக்கு ஒரு ஜாதியை வைத்து உன்னை விதவையாய் வாழ வைத்தோம். மாதம் ஒரு முறை மதம் என்னும் மதத்தால் இரத்த குளியலில் நனையவிட்டோம். சமதர்மம் வேண்டும் என ஊர்தோறும் சாதிய சங்கம் வைத்து விட்டோம். மாறிடுமா இந்த நிலை? மாற வேண்டும். பிச்சைக்காரர்கள் இல்லாத அரசியல் வேண்டும். இருக்கும் பல கொடிகள் ஒன்றாக இருந்து ஜனநாயக வண்ண கொடி பறக்க வேண்டும். எங்கும் தமிழ் வேண்டும், எதிலும் தமிழ் வேண்டும் என்ற பேச்சுக்கள் போய் வழக்கத்தில் வர வேண்டும். புதிதாய் பிறக்கும் குழந்தையின் மூச்சு கூட என்றும் இந்தியன் என்று சுவாசிக்க வேண்டும். ஆலயம் தோறும் தெய்வங்கள் மணிந்து அறிவு தீபங்கள் விரிந்தால் அன்னை பூமி அன்பு பூமியாய் மலரும். நாளும் அமைதி வாழ்வே திகழும். நன்றி. Thank you, Harini. Vote of thanks by our spirit.
Good morning to all. It's given me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this year. First of all, I would like to thank our correspondent sir who honored this function with his inspirational thoughts. Then we would like to thank our principal for taking the initiative to plan to arrange this wonderful celebration. You are our inspirational idea. Then I thank all the parents for their presence this morning and my fellow students. Further, we would like to say thank you to all our teaching and non-teaching staff for taking the efforts for the successful organization of our school's Republic Day celebration. Again, we would like to thank all the known and unknown hands that contributed to the success of this program. Thank you all and have a nice day.
Let's stand for national anthem. Students can sit. Come in a line and let us wait.